Starz just released the opening to their new series, American Gods, and we're taking a deep dive. I'm Sasha Pearl Raver, and this is Screen Junkies News. American Gods is a novel by Neil Gaiman released in 2001 that tells the story of what happens when the old gods of every religion are faced with the changing world and what Americans worship. It's also a story filled with lots and lots of blood and boinking. Wait, Jordan, can I say boinking? I can say boinking, you guys. Tons of boinking. All right. The Starz series premieres on April 30th, and they just released their opening credits today. Here with me to talk about it is Matt Key.
Boinking.
Boinking all
boink,
day.
Boink,
boink. Boink, boink.
Binkity bonk.
So there is no boinking in this opening sequence, though.
There is kind of like a weird sex doll kind of thing in the opening
Matt
sequence.
Key, tell me more. Okay. So first off, before we even talk about the trailer, tell us about the book.
All right, so it's been a while, so forgive me if I'm a little foggy. And I'm not going to give spoilers away. Like, there was a lot to this book that was very fun for me to discover as a reader, and I don't want to spoil anything for you, the audience. So I will say that the central premise to the book is that so when all the pioneers came to America, they brought with them the old gods from their world, and they all exist in America now because of they think. I'm mixing this up. Sorry. It's a weird philosophy where the gods and the mythological creatures exist because humans believe they exist.
Cool.
So the gods did not create humanity. Humans created these gods. However, in America, they've started replacing these gods with new gods.
Right.
Like celebrity,
right.
Media, cars, travel, transportation, digital technology, computers. So all of those things have started to take on godlike personas of their own, and now there's a war between these old gods like Norse mythology, old African religions, like Judaism, Christianity. All of those are now fighting against these new gods of celebrity, like military, like strength and stuff like that.
Man, Neil Gaiman, he's on a trip that don't you just want to know whatever he's smoking? Like, his brain is just such a fascinating thing, and I love it.
Like
love it.
Sandman, what's the one? He just released a book a couple years ago.
Jordan?
Anyway.
Jordan?
Anyway,
right. Before we get into why Neil Gaiman is a genius, which is just because, what can we tell about the trailer what can we tell about the series based on the opening?
So this opening is brilliant, and then it encompasses the main theme of the book of these old religions now transforming into these new religions very well and in a very visual way, without giving anything about the actual story away. So it capitalizes on the central theme. Like, one of the things we see is a mummy shroud and circuitry, like what we see there. The shroud is made out of circuitry, but it's still a mummy. So like, you're getting a call back to like ancient Egyptian mythology and religion. Anubis, Thoth, those are all characters in the story. I'm absolutely certain we will see them in the series, as well as there's a character named Anansi, who's like this weird like spider trickster god who shows up. That's all from Africa, so that's really cool. I don't believe that there's any Buddhist gods in the book, if I remember correctly, but we do also see like a really cool laughing Buddha that's got party drugs falling all around him,
as they do.
And like, there are definitely gods of like rave gods, party gods, stuff like that.
There's a rave god?
I think so.
The god
I might be misremembering it. But there's a god that they refer to as like just technology boy, like tech boy. And if I remember correctly, he's like there he is.
Nice.
He's all encompassing of all technology, basically. And part of that is rave culture, like DJing,
my mom's
digital music.
So into it. No, I'm serious, because she loves anything with raver involved in it.
So then there's a Hindu lotus with like Ganesh on top of it. Hypodermic needles, again, like drugs, is very big, but it's also like on top of a jet engine, which is like transportation. There are gods of transportation. Maybe my favorite two, though, are there's an angel statue with night vision goggles, and it's got two There
Yeah.
it is. It's got 2 goggles
rad.
on it.
Yeah.
And then Christ on the cross is an astronaut, which is amazing. Like,
Oh, people are writing letters already. There's already so many letters being written.
but if you know the book at all, and again, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to spoil too much, but if you know the book at all, like that's cool. Like that's really,
Sure.
I love that they did that. So
for people who don't know the book, though, and people who are just seeing this as like an opening sort of building of interest, it's only 90 seconds, which I will say for a TV show in today's day and age is actually a lot. Like Game of Thrones has a very long intro, but in general, it's like a title card.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lot. The fact that they poured so much into this speaks to me in a very deep way. The visual style of it, the neon lighting, the deep color saturation, and then seeing the name Brian Fuller come up on screen.
Right.
There's a lot here, even if you are not a fan of Neil Gaiman.
Yes, yeah, there is. One of my favorite things that they do in this is what you said, the neon lights. Like there's the shot of like a neon cowboy and stuff like that. Because what you start to discover as it goes on is this is very much just localized to America. Like these are personifications of gods in America. Like all these other countries, all these other regions, they still have these other gods. So like the Norse gods that we have in America are the American versions of those Norse gods, which means that Norse gods still exist in other places. So to have like the neon lights and everything, that's is very much like sort of like a call to America. It's like, look, it's America.
Yeah.
You know, because like we don't really get neon lights in a whole lot of other, like neon is like very much like, this is America, diners, 50s, like roadside advertisements, like glitter, 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 Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. You know, so like I think that's cool. Like on top of the fact that we are now these old gods and the totems of these old gods, Norse mythology, Christianity, Judaism, African mythology. There's even like Slavic sorts of mythologies in there. All these old totems are now being replaced with these new things. And again, like that's a very major reoccurring theme in the entirety of the book.
The final shot is this sort of totem pole, which to
super
me,
cool.
I mean, that speaks to Native American culture, which is very American.
Yeah,
Native American. But,
but that also has that also plays a very large part in the mythology. Like again, I want to say things and I'm
don't spoil anything. Well, let's talk about Ian McShane and how dope Ian McShane is.
Can we just say Ian McShane for everything?
Oh my God, yes, for everything. So Ian McShane is in this, which I take my money immediately. Crispin Glover is in this. Huge fan.
Yeah.
Don't understand why more people don't use him.
Yeah, he's great.
I mean, there's a lot to tune into here. What do you think is going to be like the ultimate selling point? Because when we were talking about this before, a couple of people were like, Starz, ew, I'm not watching a Starz show. One of my favorite shows of last year was on Starz, which was the miniseries Flesh and Bone, which we talked about on ScreenJunkies show. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
It's
I've heard
the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. And talk about a great opening. It's like this radical yeah-yeahs version of Obsession with ballet and like bones and dust, and it's rad. Dude, Starz is what's up. If you don't have Starz, you are missing some good TV.
Well, based on what you just said there, and like knowing what we've seen from the American Gods trailer, like they get it. Like they absolutely get it. Like here's the selling point to American Gods.
Hit it.
Blood and boinking.
Blood and boinking, you guys.
Like for real. Like again, I don't want to get into too much, but like there's like the Queen of Sheba is in the book, and she is like. I don't.
There's so much to say.
There's so much to say.
But we will
There's so much to say. But the selling point is lots of blood, lots of war. There's lots of fighting. There's weird like occult mysticism and magic, and it's all going on under the noses of everybody in the world. Like no one knows that this is going on, and then we get like this great character named Shadow Moon, who's like sort of like the main character through the entire book, and he's our entrance into. What is this world? And it exists under our noses, and it's existed in front of us this entire time, and we don't see it, but it's wacky and weird and bloody and sexy and magical.
Oh, magical. Well, I also know that this show is the most expensive thing that Fremantle has ever done. And
Really?
they used to pay J-Lo to be on American Idol. So that gets me excited. What gets you guys excited? Did this intro wet your whistle? Are you thinking that this is going to be one of your new favorite shows? Because it's very possibly going to be this, guys. Let us know in the comments below. You can tweet us at SJ News. Make sure to like and subscribe. Of course, you can always click here for more Screen Junkies news. We'll see you soon.